Hey everybody, Chris Luther with eXp Realty here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and excited today to have a good friend of mine, Bryan Sartin, with me today. Bryan is with Red Earth Marketing. And so, Bryan and his company help us tremendously, and we thought it'd be a good idea today to kind of let you know what services that they offer to agents, whether you're doing new construction, development, or even resale. So very happy to have Bryan with us today. Bryan, welcome on the call. Appreciate you being here with us today.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Good to be here. Good to see you.
You too, man. And so we'll just jump right in. So Bryan, tell us a little bit about, Red Earth Marketing and just kind of a broad view of what you guys do for agents.
Well, that's a loaded question, but I'll try to siphon it back down. Red Earth Marketing. We're here out of Wilmington, North Carolina. We cover areas all over the country, but the main thing with Red Earth is we are basically a marketing firm for builders, developers, and general brokerage agents. We do a lot of new home communities across the country. We help with developers if they are starting out with a plan and how they can execute that plan. And what we try to do, we try to make engaging us very simple. Part of our corporate office here, we have support services in all directions. The nice thing, we can kind of do it like an a la carte menu per se, that a general broker, a builder or a developer can say, we just need, let's say, flyers, or we just need floor plans. We work with a lot of clients on just one-time projects. So we can engage our clients that way. But we just recently started bundling our most common request into bundle services and packages. So if a developer can say, I don't need everything, but I just need these certain things that we do over and over again. And this helps them be more efficient, and by packaging these, that we can supply them with these products. And then, of course, we do full oversight management engagements. So we can manage a sales team, we can motivate, we can train, we can hire and oversee the entire operation. So literally our engagements could be $100 from a simple flyer to 5 to 7 years at a time of everything in between. So it's not an easy answer, but I like how our team has kind of set it up as an a la carte menu of selections along with that bundle service per se.
So it sounds like you guys have a couple of different ways you can help. And it's not just like, here's what we've got, take it or leave it. You're basically, when somebody comes to you with what their situation is, then yes, you've got your a la carte, but you can also kind of advise them and say, well, here's what we've done in the past. And, maybe this would work for you. So you're kind of working really collective with them to see kind of what their needs are and then basing a proposal on that. Is that a fair assessment there?
Exactly. A lot of listening, a lot of asking the questions. A lot of times, people come to us and want to engage us, and some things are not been going right. A lot of people won't come to you when things are going good, but they come to you when things are not going right. So we like to listen to them and formulate a plan that's geared toward them. Correct.
Well, let's talk about that. You mentioned something about, people contact you when things aren't going the right way or whatever. So can you talk a little bit about maybe what are some of the common things that people come to you with and say, here's what I'm struggling with, how can you help? And maybe unpack that for us a little bit.
Sure. So it really kind of depends on where they are and what stage they're in. So I'm going to speak, let's say, as a new home community. In the life cycle of that span of that community or that development, we believe there's two things we can offer. One is focus. Focus, they have tried it one way or the other. And in using, a lot of agents come to us using general brokerage teams that they have tried. It's that lack of focus. They're serving too many people, too many masters. They're running over here, there. They don't get the attention basically they need or the expertise they need for that project they are on. There's too many, I guess you can say, irons in the fire, you know. So focus is one of them. Number two is expertise that we kind of bring to the table. People have a hard time understanding the general niche of, I guess you can say, the new home community market or new home building market, or the on-site world, you would say. But going after that in that segment of that market, we have over 25 years of experience, and that's kind of why people call us on these. It's certain levels of that engagement. Now, another one could be if it's just this brand new agent, just right out of class, they are ready to go, and they get a phone call from this builder saying, we want you to, you know, showcase our home. So what do? So we can sit down with that agent or do a Zoom call like this and talk them through it and say, okay, we can do a rendering. We can do a floor plan for you. And then we can put together a package plan, anything. If it's a social media, we can help them with the lead gen, you know, anything they need to help sell that home. So it really kind of determines like what stage they are in the process.
So yeah, so it sounds like, you know, obviously we've talked about service and you guys kind of leading them down the right path. Let's talk about products just for a second. I know we're not going to dig into everything, but just maybe a 10,000-foot view. You know, you talked about renderings, you talked about floor plans. What are some of the more common things that you guys, so for that person that's listening out there right now and thinking in their mind, well, you know, what could Red Earth provide for me in terms of product, you know, whether it's, you know, digital stuff, you know, products and things like that for their stuff. What are some of the more common things that you guys do that may resonate maybe with your average agent that may be looking to call you guys for a service?
Well, like I mentioned, the big thing we work on is like one-on-one engagements of a floor plan. Or we could come out and, you know, if it's not a new construction, we can do aerial photography. We can actually even virtually stage a house for that agent. So they're not having to spend that out-of-pocket money to go get stagers to come in and stage that house, and that backache of moving that furniture once it's sold. And you know, in the market now, the market's so good when you'll move something in and it could be sold in, you know, a couple weeks. So we can virtually stage it where people, you know, are now shopping online, you know, and looking at homes online. They can't even tell the difference if that's a real bed or a bed that we put in there.
Well, and that's the thing. I'll jump in really, and like for you guys with us, I mean, and that's a perfect example. So we have, you know, we have a couple things that we do, you know, with you guys just to kind of give your average agent, you know, some of the thoughts from our end of the desk, you know, as an agent is, you know, there's times where we have land and we're looking at a proposed construction, but buyers are so visual in nature, and that's just the way our industry is today. And it's hard for them to connect with something that they can't see. So, you know, yes, we can sell land, but if we can sell a vision of a property and come to Bryan's company and say, Bryan, here's the CAD drawings, here's what our buyer, you know, we want them to potentially see. And so take that from CAD drawing to virtual reality world, and that's where they really shine. And they can, you know, like you said, put in almost like you're doing a walkthrough, and it's very similar to a physical walkthrough. And so it really shows that ability to be able to see, you know, the finished product, you know, to that buyer, and it helps us potentially drive, you know, a sale that we may not have done otherwise. And so, excuse me. So that's one of the things that we have, you know, with Bryan's team that helps us tremendously to be able to take a concept and basically put it on the computer in front of that end user and say, look, this is what you're going to be buying. And then we can have them emotionally engaged to move them closer to a transaction. So, you know, I know that's one of the big things for us. And that's not, you know, even talking about really new development, like a whole development. That's just a one-off project. And so, or if you've got somebody that comes to you and says, hey, I want you to find me land and I want you to find me a builder, you know, the stuff that Bryan and his team can do really help us put that into perspective. So there's no confusion on what, you know, that end product's going to look like. So it's been definitely a help for us. And so we definitely recommend, you know, that part of what we do, even if you're not working with a full development, you know, project like he's talking about. So let's go ahead and turn real quick to, you know, more of a developmental project, a full-on, subdivision. And so, sometimes new development subdivisions can, kind of produce some financial challenges, to the team and things like that. So can you talk a little bit about maybe what some of those challenges are and how you guys help to, kind of get that agent and their team over that to help promote sales for the project?
Sure, sure. Well, we run into almost three common problems, with especially with development and management. One, we haven't sold enough. They are frustrated. We are not getting the appropriate margins that the developer or builder wants, or they're not selling fast enough for those people who are flipping the bill, who has the money, those capital partners, the bankers, But so basically right there is three main elements: financial, financial, financial. In this business, this is a business that's hungry for revenue, and that standpoint. To build these homes, there's a lot of risk that goes involved for these builders and these developers, and to spend 6 months, 12 months, 18 months with that wrong team or with that wrong performance metrics, it's very costly for that developer. So that's how we can come in and do the training. We can help put the right team on the ground there, and to help sell that vision before basically the first tree is even cleared out. So that is that's what we like to do, is to help, because those three problems, finance, 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 is where we like to cut it off at the beginning before we waste time down the road and already lost money. Definitely.
Let's talk about real quick, while we're talking about development. Let's say somebody's out there listening to this, and they're getting ready, or maybe they're looking to kind of connect now with that builder developer on a new project. At what point, for that person that's looking to do that, do you feel like they need to reach out to you? And when they do reach out to you, what does that conversation typically look like before you really have an end vision of the project? So I guess what I'm saying essentially is, how can you kind of help them before everything gets started, so that they don't get too far into something and then they say, oh, well, I've done this wrong or whatever? I mean, at what point do they really need to reach out to you, and what are you guys going to kind of discuss at that point? Does that make sense?
Well, we like to say, like I told you at the beginning, we like to listen. And, it's a lot of times we get a lot of communities and developers and builders that come to after the fact, after they have, tried to sell on their own, try to use general brokerage and stuff like that. But then many times we do sit down with developers and they say, what ideas do you have? And we just like to listen. What are their plans? How big is the community? What amenities are going to be at the community? What's going to sell that community? Is it a golf course on that community? Is it, do you have a swimming pool? What are the different things you're offering people in that community that's going to help sell that vision, I guess you can say. And that's, going back to one of your previous questions that helps answer this one is, our world is a little different than the general brokerage world. A lot of our communities and our homes in our communities are priced higher in the marketplace. And, because, in ours, the comps don't really work. And, in our general brokerage area, you kind of pull your comps for your MLS, price per square feet, things like that. But our communities, they have a story to them. They might have a clubhouse, like I said, they might have unique architectural controls. So the price really doesn't tell that story. So what we want to tell the developer, or help the developer to really sell that vision. So it's a lot of storytelling that has to go in it to make that customer understand the big value of it. And, the general brokerage community doesn't have those tools per se a lot of times to help tell that story. It's kind of a joke, it's an unfair advantage with it, but because ours are priced higher, but most of our communities, in real estate, it's a want. A lot of our real estates, with the primary buying of real estate, there's a need, having a baby. they want to move to a different school district, or they want to downsize. Most of our communities are more of, I would love to be here. We can't rely, we can't rely on people to have to move. We have to encourage them. This is their next chapter in life. This is a way to downsize. This is the purpose of this built house on the beach or the mountain or the golf course. And we have to be able to tell that story. So that's how the conversation kind of starts when we're sitting at the table, is what is the story we're trying to tell for that person who wants to, move to that next chapter in their life. So we listen and find out what that community, what they're wanting to offer, or even if it's a one house or two house builder, what are they wanting to try to accomplish in selling that. So
I think that's really important because, basically what you're saying is you're not putting everybody in a box. You have to take it one project at a time. And when that agent reaches out to you, whether it's in the beginning phases or I'm already in the middle of it and I'm struggling, your point of that is to assess where things are at, where things are headed. And, from their standpoint, trying to make sure that you understand the ultimate buyer for that market too, so that you can then sit down and create a plan of, okay, we've got to make sure that we reach the people ultimately that are going to be in this community, and let's figure out a way to do that. And based on your experience and your team and where you guys have done, you kind of can pull from that and really set a plan in front of them, and then have all the tools to back it up to put that together. So, I think that's really where your value shines for somebody, regardless of what part of the process that they're in. And so, so I guess that's kind of, what I think that you guys really bring to the table that makes you a little bit different. It's not like you're just a website that just says, here, just pick what you want, do whatever, which you have that. If somebody knows what they need, you've got the products there. But you guys take it a step further and just say, look, if you're looking for more than just products, we're here to support and create a plan for your success. And so I think that's kind of what sets you guys apart. And so speaking of that, I mean, just for the average agent listening, what would you encourage them to reach out to you guys, and I mean, what would make you a good fit for just the average agent? Let's look at maybe resales for example. I mean, some of the things that maybe, I know we were talking a lot about new homes and things like that, but what are some of those things that the average agent, regardless of what company they're with, might be able to reach out to you guys and utilize your services in their general brokerage stuff? I mean, what do you guys kind of, go with?
I think first and foremost is our success record. I mean, I'll just say that, but going back to that is, book of winnings. We have over 25 years. We've seen it. We've done it. We've worked with all types of brokerages. Again, like you said, that single agent, that team, that whole community. But what I would say is just that agent that just needs advice. I mean, we don't mind just talking to that agent and trying to find out what their needs are. You may have that agent that kind of works independently, that doesn't have their like a corporate marketing firm that they can just run upstairs and say, hey, I need this or I need that, or they may not even have that broker in charge that is on call to help them to say, you need to do this and that to help market yourself. So we're here to help, that agent, that general broker that needs that extra push to say, I need some advice. I don't really have someone to go to help me do a flyer or that floor plan or do a rendering or do a drone photography or to do a 3D, walkthrough. And that's where we can help them with. We have the whole marketing department all in one place for that agent. So they can easily pick up the phone or easily shoot us an email and because we can help them, kind of set forth a plan of action per se, of how they can either sell that one house, that there's two homes, or if they're sitting on site in a community.
So now, talking about obviously what you can do to help, but so somebody that's out there and wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way? Give them a couple, maybe your website, phone number, email, things like that. What is the best ways for them to reach out to you to let you know what they're looking for, and so to kind of get that conversation started?
Well, I'm simple to reach. You can always go to I would suggest going to our website. It's redearthmarketing.com. Visit our Facebook page. It's just Red Earth Marketing. You can message me there. My email is Bryan with a Y, Bryan at Red Earth Marketing. And then, or if you need to just call me, my number is very simple to call. It's 910-431-9993. Very simple. And just pick up the phone call. It's no obligations. Would love to be able to send you maybe our rendering brochure. We can send electronically. You look at the different styles and views and floor plans that we do. But I'd also just say, go to our website. It has a lot of our examples, success stories of the communities that we represent all across the country. Just ask. I mean, it's nothing to hurt. We don't charge for just asking for advice and how we can help you.
Yeah, and so one of the things we may not have talked about specifically, but I know you guys have the capability because you've kind of worked with us in the past on, is that whether it's new home construction or you're trying to partner with a builder, things like that. I know you guys have the capability of putting together a website, for various projects and things like that. Is there anything you want to kind of maybe mention along those lines that, for somebody that, I mean, maybe you're not building their regular CRM site or anything, but, just, to really a marketing kind of showpiece for the product to help, get that engagement with the end user, things like that. I know you guys really do some nice work there. So I didn't know if you wanted to touch on that for a second.
Sure, and we'll use an example. You're working with, let's just say someone's working with a particular builder, or actually trying to get a builder to come in and to represent that builder. We can easily take someone's own website and basically do a landing page for them, so that they can just want to showcase that property, and help them have just kind of a little landing page where they can go and have that property and all the assets to that property. One of the things we pride ourselves is we try to sell the vision-based selling. And that's when people can go and land there and actually see the house, see the tour of the house. And it's specific on that. A, it's going to help get the property sold faster. B, other builders, other developers, and other people are going to see that and see that you are, the expert in that field, and they're going to call you as an agent and say, I want that service. And that's where we think we can help that agent by putting that site. It makes you look like a professional in the field. So we could do that. And like I said, we can help with your social media account. One of the other things is lead gen on a larger level, lead generation. So many different services we offer in a broad sense, but we're basically able to, happy that our team is able to a la carte them to your specific needs as an agent, as a builder, or even like you said earlier, like a developer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what the point I wanted to hit home with everybody is that, you guys are kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of things. And so, we really, encourage anybody that's listening, whether you're full on in new development or that's something that you aspire to do, or you're just happy doing resale. But, there's still a lot of things that Bryan and his team can help you guys with. So really encourage you guys to reach out to him and see what they offer and see if there's a fit for you guys. And that's whether you're here locally in North Carolina or, anywhere in the country. I mean, they can pretty much, we live in a digital world, and this is what these guys focus on, and they can reach your customers and help you guys grow your business. So Bryan, we really appreciate you taking the time today. Is there anything else that, we didn't touch on that you wanted to bring up? I feel like we kind of covered a lot of area, but just want to make sure that we hit on everything that you wanted to hit on.
No, I appreciate the time, and I guess the main thing is we want to provide a service to anyone out there that needs more time selling. You shouldn't have to worry about the marketing part of it. When you have to stop and do your own flyer, or when you have to stop and go do get a rendering done down here, and you do this every other day, it takes time out of you being able to make that one more call or do that listing appointment. Let us take care of that, because more time for you means more money for you in your pocket and more closings. So that's what we're here for. And Chris, you've been great, and thank you for this opportunity. And like I said, just give me a call, shoot me a message, and I'll be glad to help you in any way. We have a wonderful team here, and like I said, in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we'll be glad to help you out in any way.
Well, like I said, I appreciate the time again today. Just wanted to be able to share your story and what you guys do with everybody, because I think there's a lot of value there. And so, if we can help anybody out there, certainly. And if you guys want to ask me questions about what Bryan and his team do for us, feel free to reach out to us. You know how to reach us anytime. And so, Bryan, appreciate the time today, and look forward to continuing working with you. And if anybody needs to reach out to Bryan, I encourage you to do that. And hope you guys can partner in the future and help each other grow your business. So
thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Take care, Bryan. Thank you, man.
Bye-bye.